Hello. Today we are going to talk about adverbs of frequency. These are words that we use to describe a verb, an action word. These adverbs tell us how often we do an action. We often use them with the present simple tense, because the present simple tense shows a regular action. We have two types of adverbs of frequency. There are adverbs and adverbial phrases. In this video, we will look at both types and how to use them. Start with adverbs. Look at this scale. It is a time scale. At the top, it tells us 100% of the time. At the bottom, we have 0% of the time. 100% of the time means all the time. The adverb is always. The opposite, 0% of the time, means at no time. The opposite of always is never. And somewhere in the middle of this scale, we have sometimes. Underneath always, in between always and sometimes, we have almost always. So that means nearly all the time. Then we have usually, generally, normally. They mean the same thing. Very often comes next, and then often. After sometimes, less often than sometimes, we have not often, and then rarely, hardly ever, and almost never. There is one more adverb, ever. It means at any time. We use these adverbs after the verb to be or before the main verb. For example, he is always late. Always is the adverb. It comes after is. Is the verb to be. He always comes late. The adverb goes before the main verb, which is comes. Does he ever come early? Ever is the adverb here, and it goes before the main verb, come. Does is the auxiliary verb, the helping verb. Usually, generally, normally, and sometimes can be used at the beginning of the sentence or at the end. For example, I usually take the bus to work. So usually here goes before the main verb, take. But we can say, usually I take the bus to work. Or we can say, I take the bus to work usually. Let's talk about adverbial phrases. Here are some examples. There are lots more, and I'm sure you can think of some. For example, once a week or weekly, twice a year, 3 times a day, every Sunday or on Sundays, once a fortnight or fortnightly. Fortnight means 2 weeks. So once a fortnight means once every 2 weeks. Daily or once a day. Every other day or once in 2 days. Annually, once a year, yearly, at Christmas, on birthdays. I'm sure you can think of lots more examples. These phrases are used at the end of the sentence. For example, he uses the internet daily. We visit my parents once a week. We go to a restaurant on birthdays. She watches films twice a week. We can use them at the beginning of the sentence if we think how often we do the action is more important than the action. For example, once a week we visit my parents. On birthdays, we go to a restaurant. Let's do some practice now. Look at these sentences. There is an adverb of frequency in brackets at the end of each sentence. Where does the adverb go in the sentence? Pause the video here and think about it. When you are ready, continue. So, in the first sentence, the kids walk to school every day. Every day goes at the end of the sentence. We can use it at the beginning of the sentence as well if we want. Number 2. Do you normally do the washing up? It goes before the main verb do. We can use it at the beginning or the end of the sentence if we want. The third one, he is hardly ever unhappy. Hardly ever goes after the verb to be. The verb to be in this sentence is. It is contracted. Does it often snow in winter? Snow is the main verb, and so the adverb goes before snow. We go to the supermarket twice a month. It goes at the end of the sentence. But we can put it at the beginning of the sentence if we want. Why are you always hungry? It goes after the verb to be. Because this is a question, it goes after the subject word as well. She never does her homework. Does is the main verb here, so never goes before it. And finally, we wear nice clothes on special occasions. If we want, we can put on special occasions at the beginning of the sentence. Thank you for watching.